Okay, hello everyone. This is the 12/13 24 edition of the AWS Carpenter Provider issue triage meeting or issue NPR triage meeting. This is the first iteration of the meeting. We hope to have more, but effectively in the meeting, we're just going to be doing PR, like going through PRs just to kick it off, and then we'll go through issues and assign out PRs and issues, and for anyone that's interested in picking up, reviewing them. So I think we can go ahead and start. I'll share my screen. Make sure thing. Okay. Cool. Y'all can see my screen, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, thanks. Okay, let's take a look at the PRs right now. We'll start from the bottom. So first PR is the ODCR RFC, or no, it's the implementation of the ODCR RFC, which is already merged. I think I'm going to reassign this. I mark myself as the assignee, but Jason, I think you're kind of owning this at this point, as far as I understand, right?
Yeah, though, since I'm making updates to it as well, we're going to need someone else to review. And I think it sounded like that would end up falling to Nick.
Okay, mark out both as assignee then. Cool. Any questions on this from anyone? I think it's mainly the update here is like, there's still some small changes we need to make. It's pretty close on the provider side. I think there's a bunch of changes that have to happen upstream that we need to get in, but that's pretty much the summary there. Okay. Add section for building custom image. Build the image. Does anyone look at this at all? Looks like Nick maybe did a while back. Look at it and see if there's anything weird about it. This is pretty useful, I think, the development guide, honestly. Does somebody want to take over looking at this?
Yeah, you can give it to me. Just a docs update, right?
Yeah, and it looks, I mean, just like looking at the detail of it, it looks pretty useful. Like it's kind of similar to the dev flow that a lot of us use. So documenting it would be nice. I don't think it exists, at least with like Go mod replacements or Go work replacement. I don't know if it's worth mentioning Go work, but that's also another option here, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Makes sense.
Cool. Okay. What do I think if I just unstale it? No, I guess doing this is going to cause it to unstale, but I'll also just I know Steve opened this one a while ago, and yeah, I don't blame him. We need to look at it. Improve default security context. I think this one needed a little bit of looking at. I know the security context is kind of obviously has the word security in it, so it's a little bit. We need to look at understanding the specifics of this, I think. I know I looked at security context a while ago, but there's some additional options that I am less familiar with. Mainly like looked at the like FS group and the run as user stuff. Is anyone interested in diving into this? Because I definitely can, given them off. Silence.
You can assign it to me. I mean, obviously, I might not have the full context, so I'll reach out if I need some assistance, but I should be able to take a look.
Oh, shoot, because you're not on the team. You have to comment on the PR and then I can then assign it to you. If there's something like I'll pick it up and then,
Okay, 1 second, let me do that.
yeah.
Okay, I've added a comment.
Okay. This just, did anyone, I don't think anyone looked at this, but because it has overlap with what Reed is doing, I kind of am inclined to want to give this to him. Cause I know he was already kind of thinking about this problem. I know he's not here, but I'll go ahead and give this one to him. Okay. Custom SSM. Oh, yes. I don't know if maybe we spend like a minute discussing this one, but I kind of don't think this is like crazy. I don't know that anyone else necessarily thinks this is crazy either. We just haven't done it. I imagine the bulk of the work here. I mean, there's probably a little bit of review, but I think some of the work is probably in the discussion side.
Yeah, I think there's maybe questions on how the interface, how we may want to expand the interface in the future. For example, allowing people to add additional requirements other than just architecture to
Right.
get more parity with like the current alias.
Mhm.
But as far as a base feature goes, I think the use case is pretty well documented at this point.
Yeah, like we maybe call this SSM instead of SSM parameter name, but like I think beyond
Yeah.
that, I mean, even the requirement thing doesn't necessarily have to go in, right? Like we don't need it.
No, that's something we could expand in the future, I think.
I guess there's a question about like whether this is a path or whether it's the full, ID field or the reference field. Like, does this discover multiple things or a single thing?
Hmm.
I guess maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just the newest thing on the SSM path.
Oh, the idea being maybe if you give it like something higher up the hierarchy, it discovers all AMIs, like from doing a tree crawl.
Yeah, I guess it depends how maybe we need to understand. I guess most people are probably not using SSM path in that way. I think maybe worth asking. But I would assume it's a pointer that you just move most of the time, but maybe people are also doing similar to the SSM publish path kind of behavior that we have with, AWS internal images,
Hmm.
or not internal images, but images that we publish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Jason, you have the most context here. Do you want to just own it?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I'm considering you the owner of the SSM provider at this point.
Sounds good.
Like touched it the most. Okay, more docs. Oh gosh, 89 files. Oof. Word. Okay, they just copied, I think. So maybe not 89 files, but still a lot of files. I'm assuming our migrating from cast docs is out of date, which is unsurprising. Might be worth just talking to some like blog posters and folks. Like I know Brian, kind of talked to Brian a little bit about whether he'd be interested in like helping out with things like this. I don't know if he has any thoughts because like we're kind of constantly chasing this being out of date. I know we've always kind of debated whether it should exist or not. I mean, I think it's useful for people that are wanting to migrate off, but then if the migration guide is just wrong, then it's it's kind of useless to some degree. I think I'm gonna just give this to Nick. I'm gonna consider this to being, like a holding pattern to some degree. I don't know. I think we need like a larger answer to how do we keep this up to date, or if we even keep this up to date, in the docs. Because this is just kind of a constant problem of these things being out of date and
Yeah,
pain.
I think there may be room for, or this isn't necessarily a discussion we need to have here and now. Something I know I've seen is people wanting a more dedicated installation guide and a dedicated, or in like a standalone cluster, or sorry, not standalone, existing. So like with our current getting started guide, it goes through the steps of creating the cluster. Some of the roles are created with in like tagging subnets, all that is done with ECAS cuddle. Maybe what would be easier to keep in date is updating the getting started guide to call out the differences between getting started with a new cluster and an existing cluster. And then we can make the migrating to CAS section just the really simple taint some nodes, add node selectors on your pods, migrate over. Rather
what I
than
really
the full step of installing Karpenter.
Yeah, what I really like is, I'm not sure that you do it in this way, but like, yeah, kind of like collapsing our different, like kind of the tree options that you have to take when it comes to like either the capacity you're going to run Carpenter on, or potentially, I don't know if there's enough overlap, but I guess we'd have to figure it out. There's probably a bit of overlap. I mean, there obviously is some overlap between the two methods. I don't know why we chose to go so far off the beaten path with this method, because I know there's a bunch of scripts in here that are kind of related to this. Like we use the JSON here and not the quad formation, I think because the quad formation has like, actually don't fully know. I guess maybe you already created some roles and things. You may want to reuse them or something like that.
Maybe I don't think you're creating, I think our cloud formation though is, at least as of today, I'd have to double check, but it's pretty much just like the Carpenter node role, Carpenter controller role,
Right.
and the interruption queue.
Yeah, I just think it was weird that we like decided, I guess, and we've never really fixed this. Like this all is in JSON, and then we have a cloud formation document that basically looks the same. And who knows if this is out of date at this point? I have no idea. I don't think it is, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing that you would still need here is, I believe it's the Carpenter controller role is created by ECAS Cuddle, and it's only the policy that's created in the cloud formation. So you'd still need to create the role standalone if you're not creating a new cluster.
Yeah.
But
Well, the control, yeah.
it's one of the two roles. I don't remember off the top of my head, but
I thought that was done during the service account. Oh, okay. It's because we create with the service account name here in the pod identity associations. I mean, it's like if you broke this up in a way that like had the pod identity association created separately, then you would basically solve that problem, I guess, both like an EPS cuddle call.
yeah, maybe that's the way we do it.
Yeah, I guess it basically depends how flexible you want. I'm also realizing you don't need this, right? Anyway, sorry. I think you need this with pod identity, but anywho. Okay, I'm assigning that to Nick. I'll maybe, Jason, you can talk with him as well. I think get some feedback on whether we think, like what we think we should do with that.
Sounds good.
Cool. Okay. Did I not remove the stale label? It's like not. Okay. Coming up. I approve this. It was just a formatting thing. It has conflicts, and I told them, hey, it has conflicts. So I'll assign to myself, but I don't know that they're going to respond. Custom annotations. This also didn't seem crazy to me. I was okay with it. I don't know what other people thought. It was basically just our CRD template or our CRD chart somebody wanted to be able to inject like similar annotation pattern that we had in the other chart that we own. And that seemed reasonable to me. They're just doing a script to do it. Anyone have any issues with it? Otherwise, I think we can probably just approve this today. Cool. 6 silences, no. Lazy consensus. Okay. This one, who's this person?
That's me.
Oh, no, I was joking. Sorry.
Oh.
Come through. Okay, cool. Yeah, this one you have. So you have 2. Is this one getting closed in favor of the new one, or are you?
I think that's probably best case.
Okay. We can just leave this one unassigned because it's fine too. This one has been a long-standing issue that we kind of know about. I think Jigishi reassigned this probably like 9 months ago, and we just haven't touched it because it's been super low pry.
Oh, yeah, I can take a look at it again. At this point, I have actually forgotten what this was, but yeah, I can take a look.
This was we like bumped, like there was basically
Oh, you
correlation
go.
website, yeah, like dependencies, and then when we bumped them, it like broke a bunch of stuff at the website.
Yeah.
So we didn't touch it, and we just haven't touched it for a really long time.
Yeah, you can assign it to me.
This one I looked at, I think, or no, I looked at the issue, but then they opened the PR for it. The use case here was weird. I didn't know if I was really convinced by it. Oh, they want to use the node pool name. Wait, what? Oh, they want to. We already tagged with the node pool name.
I think it's more that they want to embed the node pool name in a custom tag. I think because I don't know.
I mean, maybe
this is,
but like, okay.
I mean, this is something that we had discussed when implementing the dynamic tagging controller, like back in August 2023. I think the stance we took there was if you can template the resources themselves rather than it being done dynamically by Karpenter, there isn't a strong use case to add complexity to Karpenter's tagging mechanism.
Correct. Like, there is very little example in Kubernetes of doing something like this, like allowing a pattern like this where you inject things at runtime. Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. Like, we already, maybe I just need to respond to this, but like we already add the tag. So like, if there's a security boundary question, then like they can craft a policy that works with multiple tags. I don't really know why they require. This is just a question. Like, I don't know why they would require templating information that we already have, even if it's going into a custom tag. Like, why?
I think the main thing I've heard is you just want a tag in this format. That's not Karpenter's default format.
But like, why?
Yeah, I guess the one thing here is if you wanted to have a tag that contains the node pool name, you would have to have one EC2 node class per node pool rather than being able to share. So playing devil's advocate there. Yeah, I mean, like, I think we need to know more about the use case. Personally, I don't know if that by itself convinces me, but
I didn't follow the one EC2 node class per node pool, but
oh yeah, if you just wanted to have, so like I said before, our standpoint before was that if this is something you can, rather than having like this dynamic template that Karpenter resolves at runtime, just templating the EC2 node class resource itself. So you can do that based on like a node pool name, but you can only do that if you have a one-to-one relationship between node classes and node pools. you can't have a one-to-many relationship at that point. Because you would need to have one node class per node pool if you wanted the node pool tag. Or
Yeah,
if you wanted the node pool in a tag name.
yeah, that's if you wanted some other kind of like, yeah, custom injected information beyond the node pool name. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Jason, you've spoken up.
Sure.
I would take it up, but again, because I'm not gonna be here, I think makes sense. This one seemed reasonable to me. It was like a perf change just from like a memory usage perspective. I think we just like scrutinize it to some degree because it might cause other issues. They were basically proposing like if the sequence number is incremented, like we're lazily checking the sequence number and then creating a new key and then expecting the cache to like drop the data after 5 minutes for instance types. Which I mean, memory impact wise is probably not terrible, but they were just wanting to improve it to like directly flush the cache when we increment the sequence number because we're never coming back, which is true. I don't know. So I don't think there's any interactions with like something holding on to the old version of the key and it like causing problems. So I think there's no race conditions there. I think it's mostly just like are we flushing the cache or like deleting keys correctly and how much memory do you actually save by doing things this way? I don't know if you saved that. Well, maybe you save a decent amount. I don't know. It's for a 5-minute period. And I guess if you're getting a lot of instance or ice churn, maybe it happens a lot and you see a big memory spike. It might be worth like whoever looks at this, like icing things like once a second or something and seeing what happens. I don't know if that's like really realistic, but that's probably like worst case scenario.
I can take a look at this. We were talking about this. Like I was thinking about this when we were doing the performance changes for the instance type cache.
Yeah.
I can take a look at this.
Yeah, it's like both the sequence numbers are just lazy.
Right. Yeah, I guess that was an implementation. I guess that was the previous implementation, not necessarily what we needed to do once we had the async path.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon added that and and I think we kept it because again, it was like, I don't know really how much we're going to gain from doing it the other way. And it like made the existing changes more complicated. But yeah, I think maybe makes sense to take a look at now. What the heck? Did we merge something else? Or did we never merge the docs? What the? Nicholas. Okay, we need to merge the docs. I can take a look at this today.
Oh yeah, I think he was trying to fix the automation around patch release doc updates. But yeah, we do just need to get this merged. I mean, for a patch release, it should just be going and updating every reference to 1.1.0 to 1.1.1.
Okay.
So doesn't that just mean we just need to close that?
Oh, I think I'm going to update the existing and then close it in that order, I think.
But I thought for patch releases, we just create a separate PR and not use the autogen.
That's what we've been doing because the autogen's been broken.
Yeah.
So,
But this is giving us visibility. I mean, I don't, yes, we should close this and then make a new one. But the point is like, we haven't updated the docs. So we need to update the docs. So how it gets merged is fine. But
yeah. This is just used for testing E to E with an upstream change. You can ignore it.
Okay, adopter. Who's adopting? I love that people see that everything is alphabetized and appropriately put the thing in the right spot. It's great. About as thorough as I am when it comes to proving these. Okay. Okay, and then this was the kind of the follow-up to the authorization stuff, right? Leia?
Yeah. That's just like a draft for you to take a look at, but not ready to merge at all. It doesn't have the tests in it, so.
Cool. Okay, that's the PRs, I think, unless there are multiple pages. I think there was just a single page. Yeah. Cool. We can jump over to the issues. And how did you do this yesterday, Manuel? Did you go from the end to the beginning, or did we start at the top?
Yeah, I went from the end.
From the
Yes, from the oldest issues.
Okay. Anyone know? There's multiple duplicate node claims for a single pod.
Did I respond on this? I see I'm assigned. Oh, I think this was, I'll look at this again. I think this could have been closed out. Or at least marked as solved. So I'll take a look.
Gotcha. Non-Karpenter instance events. Oh, this is just interesting. Yeah, there's noise in this because it's not filtering out non-cluster like instant like messages that are coming from other clusters. Not sure what the right answer. I mean, this is a I don't even is this a docs update?
Is it a docs update or should we just filter this metric?
That's what I was questioning. Like,
Okay.
is this a feature or a docs update or feature slash chore? I mean, so technically the metric is correct, like it's the number of received messages, but is that useful to know that you've received message? Maybe it's useful to know that the SQS queue polling is taking a
Yeah.
message related.
I mean, maybe we could add a label. I'm just spitballing, but maybe
Well,
we
the
could add a
label is
label for like managed or a cluster name, something along those lines.
No, I think the
Or I
label,
guess we don't know cluster name, but
you can hear me right. The label exists. Like it's maybe confusing. I think maybe we should think about the label we're using. Like the way you filter it out is you take a look at labels that are of type, I think no-op, which is maybe a really bad misnomer. I think it was taken from the node interruption handling implementation. But if I remember correctly, I'm looking right now. Receive messages, message type is message kind. Yeah, so there's like a no op kind, which means that we don't own it. I kind of agree with you, Jason, that like that's a bad name. Like it should probably just be something related to, I don't know, managed, not true false or something like that. Or associated cluster. I don't know. Something that's like a little bit more clear that it's like this is a message that we own, this is a message we don't own, and then you don't have to care about what the type of the message is.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little tricky because at the end of the day, I'm guessing these queues are in the customer's account. So if they look at the queue metric and they see like they receive 100 messages, but all of these metrics don't add up to 100, it's still going to be a little confusing as to, where's that message going. But I agree. I mean, I think we can improve that name a little bit. Actually, that's not necessarily true, right, Jonathan? I mean, no op can also mean that let's say there is a type of EC2 event that we just don't support today, then that would be a no op even if it relates to the instances that we manage.
Yeah, I just wonder if maybe we have a message type that is no op, but then like there's an additional label.
I think that probably makes the most sense. Is yeah, an additional label like managed like managed true false, and then you also have the type.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm gonna keep that one open because it's a good first issue. Needs investigation on this guy, and Jigisha, you're the last to respond. Do you remember? I mean, this is a while ago. Right.
Um, no, I can't remember it, but you can assign it to me. I think, at least from my last response, it looks like I was asking for more logs.
Yeah, I think I remember both of us looking at this. Neither of us were able to reproduce.
Yeah.
So we need logs.
Yes.
Oh man, provisioner. Ooh. Rejected by the admission controller. We don't have this anymore. Okay, I'm gonna close this. I think it just didn't close automatically because we were like specifically not closing bugs. But like now the Sailbot should close this out, but it's been so long, I'm just gonna close it. Okay. Get us whittling it down. Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay, so this raises a question on, I think this is like a close and just like let people find the closed issue if they're hitting this. Like I don't think we should keep issues open that are not actual problems that people are just kind of doing as like an announcement. And then you also had made a docs update, it looks like.
And did that docs update get made? I see it's closed, not merged.
Good point.
So do we need to go back and make this still?
Do you remember Gisha?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, reopen.
Yeah, and then we can probably just close that issue with the stops PR.
Do we want to, well, yeah, maybe I'll just change this to documents. Docs. Okay. Who looked at this? Gisha. There was a response, we didn't take a look, so somebody, I think needs to take a look at this.
Yeah, you can assign it to me.
What?
Oh.
Yep. I'm gonna assign this to Nick. Hmm. Due to quoting of node labels, interesting. Did you see this, Jason? Oh, it looks like, oh, it's literally just like it's kind of like a knowledge gap and how. Do we document, well, obviously the config exists in the repo, but there's like is there documentation that we can link to?
Oh, did it have to do with the way that AL 2023 was actually serializing things or how Carpenter was?
Hmm.
Because I haven't looked at this issue. I mean, you can assign it to me and I can take a closer look and see if there's any doc updates or changes we need to make on our side to
It looks like
help
maybe
here.
is it a bug? Oh yeah, it does look like a bug.
I think we had asked Nick Baker to make a change on their side for this. Since
Hmm.
this had something to do with how they handle things on their end.
Okay, so is this something that we think should be tracked in the EKS optimized AMI repo?
Yes.
Okay,
I can go back and check because I remember having conversation with Nick about this.
Did we didn't say this is an issue. These are always weird requests, opinion. Maybe there's a reason for it. I think for the sake of time, I'm just gonna feature add. Does anyone have any issues with that? And come back to it.
yeah, it sounds like a feature, so.
Oh, I guess what did we, sorry, I put a note on that. What did we say yesterday? I forgot. About-
Maybe needs information if we need to know more about the use case.
Yeah, I mean, we were basically saying, okay, triage is a mechanism for classifying, right? And by removing it, we're not implying we're
Mhm.
taking it. The
The
classification
one,
question.
yeah, the one other question is how strict we want to be about getting stuff in the right repo. Like this is not an AWS provider issue or feature request. This is a upstream.
Yeah, I wish you could do cross org transfers. Because they're kind of, I hate to like make people close things out and reopen them. Especially when there's
Yeah.
plus one. Like I think it's fine to just let it slide if we don't catch it early
Okay.
enough.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I mean, the main reason I think we'd want it in the upstream is upstream has more visibility with other cloud providers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if other cloud providers are doing the same thing, then there's plenty of features that can get missed.
Maybe it's worth. I think for now, we would come back to it, but like, it's probably worth like checking if there's similar issues in other repos and then just linking to like a mega. Maybe not closing it, but just having a reference.
Yeah, at least maybe for older issues. I know I've tried to be pretty good about if I see an issue open in the wrong repo, just immediately ask to reopen in the other repo before it sits for too long.
Right.
Though, of course, sometimes it's not always obvious which repo it should be in.
Right.
Oh, I can take a closer look at this. It looks like this might just be confusion around eventing.
There's some noise. I know that there's definitely noise in our logs when somebody does this. That I'd like to also see us clean up if we
Mhm.
can. Is there, I don't think
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of noise, like node class not found terminating. That would be nice to clean up because that's not really valuable information. At least not valuable having it once per iteration.
Yeah.
I know
like
Hmm?
it's all, if I remember, it's all from the disruption controller. Like I think nothing else really is, like everything else filters on readiness and therefore like it doesn't hit this issue. But because we took the position that you should still be able to disrupt things that are not ready, like for good reason, we get all this noise in those disruption logs.
Yeah, I do think there's also I don't know if it's specifically here, but the whole cannot disrupt because state node such and such. It doesn't look like that's what people are seeing here, but that is super confusing, I think, if you're not aware of Karpenter's internals.
I thought we fixed that, no?
There's still some. Um, But yeah, no, you can assign that to me and I'll take a look. Oh, you already did. I'll take a closer look to see what needs to be done to close out.
Oh, yes. This one, somebody needs to look at. Thought. I think this one may be a legit bug. I can't remember though.
Oh, it looks like I was the last one to take a look, so you can go ahead and assign it to me. Needs investigation.
Once you're done with this, Jason, I think you're gonna have a lot of items, so maybe consider handing things off if you think that there's too much.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my intention here is if there's something I'm not going to be able to get to, we can tentatively assign to me if I was like the last one to look at it, but
Oh, wait. Oh. I was like, that does not look right.
yeah. But yeah, I'll hand off where needed.
Okay. Where was I? Did that one? Okay. I thought, oh. Although the mix-up command has been removed. Did we not drop this? Oh, yeah. Great process. Oh man, that's gotta be. It's broad. Don't we literally have an upgrade guide for this? Oh, how can I update the omnis? I think we just need somebody to respond with doc links and close it. That's how I'm reading it at least. Or to see if there's anything we should add to like the omni task information. Does anyone want to do that?
Yeah, if it's Omni task, I've already got a task to update the managing Omnis guide. So
Support pin limits through node pool, kubelet. Oh, another kubelet change. Hold for the generic response that we have.
I do think there may be a question if that generic response still should hold true now that it's moved over to the EC2 node class.
Maybe use cases for it. I mean, I'm fine with just like leaving this as a feature ask and
Yeah.
going back.
Yeah, the reason being, like, I think the motivation before was we support the minimal number of fields because that's what's needed for scheduling. But now that it's on the EC2 node class and we don't necessarily need to worry about do all cloud providers need to support these fields, maybe we could revisit that. Though, especially with like AL 2023, for instance, it's pretty easy to just do it through user data.
Do we, no, we don't have this right now, but we've talked about it. We've talked about doing the label annotation method that would be surfaced through the like custom labeling metric thing that we have now. Right? Like add the OMI ID as a label and then use operator packages. What would it be? Current status metrics to surface the OMI ID, and you could get counts and things off of that. I
Yeah,
guess there's a question of like how much information should go there. I think minimally OMI ID makes sense though.
Yeah, AMI ID, maybe Kate's version. If you're interested in like progress updating after a EKS or just Kubernetes version upgrade.
Manuel, I'm gonna assign you to this.
yeah, that sounds good.
If you could just give a response, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Easy to instant maker meshed up when spawned by Karpenter. Well, this does not sound like. All right, issue. Option messages, spawn option kind is not accurate. bad, but I don't think we ever were able to repro it.
And I don't think there was ever an explicit fix made. It may have been down to their queue configuration.
Yeah, there's definitely no changes, so not sure. I don't think anyone on the maintainer team responded to this one, so do we want to? I think I may just. Well, yeah, I'm gonna assign this to you and, oh shoot, you're not. How do I, wait, what's your?
Actually, should be.
Yeah.
That's your GitHub handle doesn't start with L. I'm gonna assign
Yeah.
this one to you. Take a look.
Sounds good.
People as needed. Cool. Use the default block device mappings from, oh wait, disable the default block device mappings. Feature ask, I think I'm gonna just throw this as a feature and then keep moving. Search. Um,
Real quick, going back, should that just be triage solved since it's just a question? Oh, you closed it. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, people can reopen, right? Like original poster.
I think the original poster can.
Okay. I'm
Wait,
pretty
needs-
sure they can too, but
dummy account and like see if a person with just read it, or I guess Sarah could validate for us because I think he doesn't have write access right now.
Yeah, I think I got that just like 5 minutes ago.
Oh, well, never mind. Thanks for joining the meeting. What meeting did I join? Somebody needs to look at this. Who wants it? Otherwise, I'm gonna pick. Okay. I think let's look at this one, and then I think that'll wrap it up for today. Manage non-Karpenter nodes. Interesting. Okay, definitely a feature ask. Cool. Okay, I think we're at almost at time, so I think this was productive. And we will do something similar to the SIGs or the upstream meeting. We'll reschedule something in January timeframe, and hopefully we get people outside of the maintainer team there as well. Anyone else have anything else to say? If not, I think we're good. Thanks everyone for joining.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Cool.